Namaskar, Jai Shri Krishna, illustrating text 1, text 2 and text 3 of chapter 16, how Pariksit received the age of Kali of first canto creation of Srimad Bhagavatam. Text 1, Sut Uvacha, Tataha Pariksit Dvijavarya Shikshaya Mahim Mahabhagavataha Shashasaha Yatha Hi Sutyam Bhijat Ko Vidaha Samadhi Shana Vipra Mahadaguna Statha. Suta Goswami said, O learned Brahmanas, Maharaj Pariksit then began to rule over the world as a great devotee of the Lord under the instructions of the best of the twice born Brahmanas. He ruled by those great qualities which were foretold by expert astrologers at the time of his birth. At the time of Maharaj Pariksit's birth, the expert astrologer Brahmanas foretold some of his qualities. Maharaj Pariksit developed all those qualities being a great devotee of the Lord. The real qualification is to become a devotee of the Lord, and gradually all the good qualities worthy of possession develop. Maharaj Pariksit was a Mahabhagavata or a first class devotee who was not only well versed in the science of devotion but also able to convert others to become devotees by his transcendental instructions. Maharaj Pariksit was therefore a devotee of the first order, and thus he used to consult great sages and learned Brahmanas who could advise him by the Shastras how to execute the state administration. Such great kings were more responsible than modern elected executive heads because they obliged the great authorities by following their instructions left in Vedic literatures. There was no need for impractical fools to enact daily a new legislative bill and to conveniently alter it again and again to serve some purpose. The rules and regulations were already set forth by great sages like Manu, Yajnavalkya, Parashara and other liberated sages, and the enactments were all suitable for all ages in all places. Therefore, the rules and regulations were standard and without flaw or defect. Kings like Maharaj Pariksit had their council of advisors, and all the members of that council were either great sages or Brahmanas of the first order. They did not accept any salary, nor had they any necessity for such salaries. The state would get the best advice without expenditure. They were themselves Samadhi Shana, equal to everyone, both man and animal. They would not advise the king to give protection to man and instruct him to kill the poor animals. Such council members were not fools or representatives to compose a fool's paradise. They were all self-realized souls, and they knew perfectly well how all living beings in the state would be happy both in this life and in the next. They were not concerned with the hedonistic philosophy of eat, drink, be merry and enjoy. They were philosophers in the real sense, and they well knew what is the mission of human life. Under all these obligations, the advisory council of the king would give correct directions, and the king or executive head, being himself a qualified devotee of the Lord, would scrutinizingly follow them for the welfare of the state. The state in the days of Maharaj Yudhishthir or Maharaj Pariksit was a welfare state in the real sense of the term, because no one was unhappy in that state, be he man or animal. Maharaj Pariksit was an ideal king for a welfare state of the world. Text 2. Sa uttarasya tanaya mupayema iravatim janme jayadim shacha turastasya mutapadayata. Sutan. King Pariksit married the daughter of King Uttar and begot 4 sons headed by Maharaj Janmejaya. Maharaj Uttar was the son of Virat and maternal uncle of Maharaj Pariksit. Iravati, being the daughter of Maharaj Uttar, was the cousin sister of Maharaj Pariksit. But cousin sisters and brothers are allowed to get married if they did not belong to the same gotra or family. In the Vedic system of marriage, the importance of the gotra or family was stressed. Arjun also married Subhadra, although she was his maternal cousin sister. Janmejaya, one of the Rajarishi kings and the famous son of Maharaj Parikshit. His mother's name was Iravati, or according to some, Madravati. Maharaj Janmejaya begot two sons of the names Jnatanika and Shankukarna. He celebrated several sacrifices in the Kurukshetra pilgrimage site, and he had three younger brothers named Shrutasen, Ugrasen and Bhimsen too. He invaded Takshala, Ajanta, and he decided to avenge the unlawful curse upon his great father Maharaj Parikshit. He performed a great sacrifice called Sarpa Yajna to kill the race of serpents, including the Takshak, which has bitten his father to death. On request from many influential demigods and sages, he had to change his decision to kill the race of snakes, but despite stopping the sacrifice, he satisfied everyone concerned in the sacrifice by rewarding them properly. In the ceremony, Mahamuni Vyasdev also was present, and he personally narrated the subject of the battle of Kurukshetra before the king. Later on, by the order of Vyasdev, his disciple Vaishampayana narrated before the king the subject matter of Mahabharata. He was much affected by his great father's untimely death and was very anxious to see him again. And he expressed his desire before the great sage Vyasdev. Vyasdev also fulfilled his desire. His father was present before him, and he worshipped both his father and Vyasdev with great respect and pomp. Being fully satisfied, he most munificently gave charity to the Brahmanas present at the sacrifice. Text 3. Ajahara Shva Medham Strina Gangayam Bhuri Dakshinan Shardavatam Gurum Krutva Deva Yatrakshi Gocharaha. Maharaj Parikshit, after thus selected Krupacharya for guidance as a spiritual master, performed 3 horse sacrifices on the banks of the Ganges. These were executed with sufficient rewards for the attendants, and at these sacrifices even the common man could see demigods. It appears from this verse that interplanetary travel by the denizens of higher planets is easy. In many statements of Bhagavatam, we have observed that the demigods from heaven used to visit this earth to attend sacrifices performed by influential kings and emperors. Herein also we find that during the time of the horse sacrifice ceremony of Maharaj Parikshit, the demigods from other planets were visible to the common man due to the sacrificial ceremony. The demigods are not generally visible to common men, as the Lord is not visible. But as the Lord, by his causeless mercy, descends to be visible to the common man, similarly the demigods also become visible to the common man by their own grace. Although celestial beings are not visible to the naked eyes of the inhabitants of this earth, it is due to the influence of Maharaj Parikshit that the demigods also agreed to be visible. The kings used to spend lavishly during such sacrifices, as a cloud distributes rains. A cloud is nothing but another form of water, or in other words, the waters of the earth transform into clouds. Similarly, the charity made by the kings in such sacrifices are but another form of the taxes collected from the citizens. But as the rains fall down very lavishly and appear to be more than necessary, the charity made by such kings also seems to be more than what the citizen needs. Satisfied citizens will never organize agitation against the king, and thus there was no need in changing the monarchical state. Even for a king like Maharaj Parikshit, there was need of a spiritual master for guidance. Without such guidance, one cannot make progress in spiritual life. The spiritual master must be bona fide, and one who wants to have self-realization must approach and take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master to achieve real success. Thank you.